what is turntoo? Turntoo is a new business model in between the circular economy, and turntoo is facilitating a new relation between the producer and the consumer. So it's not a game again, but it's a completely new business model because we have to change our economy, and if we want to change our economy, we need new business models. But what does it mean? The future is not a gift. The future is an achievement. And what you see here is the first photo which is taken from planet Earth. It's done from William Anders. He was an astronaut, Apollo 8, and he looked out of the wrong window. He made a mistake. He should take photos from the moon, and he looked out of the other window and he saw planet Earth. He took the black and white camera and he took that photo, what you see here behind me. So this is the first photo in history. It's an illegal photo. So it's the first photo which is done by a human being from planet Earth. And what you see is a very fragile planet. Nothing will be added in the future. That's it. The old Greeks were here, the new Greeks are here, the Romans were there, you are here. And if we have TEDxZwolle over 60 years, you won't be here. Then you're dead and I'm dead. Everybody will be dead in 80 years. So what is the problem? We come with nothing. We leave this planet with nothing. And in between, so what are we doing in between? In between, we want to have everything. But if we want to have everything, a lot will be lost because we have the wrong business models. And what you see here is the planet is round. We know the planet is round. It's just 500 years ago that you will be burned if you would say, yeah, the planet is, it's a ball, isn't it? So we are not so intelligent than we think. So we need time also for our intelligence. So what is important that we are guided by the future. It's not interesting at all what we can do today, if we can pay for it, if we have the technique. We have to be focused, where do we want to be, where do we want to go in the future? So what is our moon? What is the moon in your life? What is the moon of Holland? So where do we want to be over 7 years? That's important. If we don't know that, then the chance that the next step is in the wrong direction is quite big. So let's talk about the future. So I'm an architect, and now we're working for 20 years on sustainable buildings, because sustainability is not about certification, it's not about products, it's not about solutions, it's about the attitude. It's about the attitude towards everything what makes our life possible on the planet. So it's very simple. So we started in architecture. We said, okay, our own handicap is we just can make sustainable buildings. We have no idea, but you have a lot of universities where you can learn not to design non-sustainable buildings. So we make sustainable buildings. And we figured out there's no energy problem at all. We have enough energy. But we focus on a big problem in the future. This is the shortage of raw material. So this is the first time in history that we have the chance that we can't do out of freedom what we want to do because we don't have enough raw materials. At this moment, we don't have enough copper in stock to make 30 million electrical cars. So if we want to make that cars, we have to take the copper from somewhere. We have to get it back from somewhere, maybe out of the product. So the refuse dump from today will be the gold mine from tomorrow. These are your grandchild's. Because they realize, hey, wait, there's a lot of very interesting stuff in that hill. So let's dig it out. Because that's the way we consume. We take something, we make something, we use it, and then we throw it away. But we just saw the planet Earth and we said, okay, that's it. Nothing will be added in the future. So everything we burn or everything we throw away, in the plastic soup, for example, it will be gone. But how comes? What you see here is, on your left side, you see a very famous telephone. It's a T65. And what you see, it's not original. It's designed in 1953, but it's not original. Because if you see on the left side, you see that cable, and then you see, hey, that's not original. We didn't have that cable in 1953. You're right. This telephone is fixed. Because there was a technical problem. And if we had a technical problem with the product, we fixed it in the past. I go to my grandfather, or I go to my father, or to my neighbor, or I go to shop. They fix it for me. And then after 40 years, the telephone now, it's really done with this telephone. We really have to buy a new one, isn't it? And then on your right side, what you see there? The G3, the G4, the G4S, the G5. And you know what I have? I have the G6, because I just passed the Apple Store. They allowed me to show it for the TEDx today, so I just can show it for 3 seconds, because it's completely secret. So this is the G6. You saw it? You're getting nervous, huh? How comes? I missed the email, I know information from the Apple Store, I not even have the G5, Mr. Rau, he has the G6. So that's the way how we consume right now. We are not interested at all if the product is still okay. We are not interested in the product, we're interested in the performance, right? You don't buy a G5 because the G4S is broken, right? You just buy it because, it's a little bit more sexy, it's a little bit lighter, I have 1 row more apps on it, it feels better. That's why you want to have it, because of the performance. And that's okay. Because if we want to have the transformation, we have to consume in a different way. And we have to participate in all the innovations we have. But if we do that in the old economy, we have a problem. This is the regular business model. We use the stuff, we call it the life cycle. We use it as long as it works. So the performance cycle and the life cycle is the same. But what happens now? You remember the G4S and the G5? We just say goodbye. We are not interested at all in the life cycle. We just want to have the performance cycle. But the performance cycle is shorter than the life cycle. And then we throw it away. That means we are creating more and more waste because we want to have the innovative products. And there are another type of product, you see on the right side, these are the printer. You remember? You just bought the printer, you go back to the shop, I have a problem with the printer, maybe you can fix it. No. You know what? It's really better if you buy a new one. It's much too expensive to fix the old one. So because we have very innovative products, we are creating extra waste in between the linear economy. The linear economy means we have stuff enough, so we have the raw materials, we have production, we make a product, we use it, and we throw it away, and then we take something new. Because we, in the linear economy, we just think from A to B. And there were 2 important people, William McDonough and Michael Braungart. They introduced the cradle-to-cradle philosophy. Said, okay, wait, maybe it's better to make the products in a way that we can reuse the raw material. So that means we have to design it in a different way, we have to make it in a different way, to have a cradle-to-cradle product. But what happens if you have a cradle-to-cradle product? Nothing. You just have it. But this is just not a business model. So how can we make out of that philosophy a business model? And there is a leak, and the leak is by the consumer. So the producers, they make a very nice product. Let's say they have a cradle-to-cradle product or whatever. But then the consumer said, okay, that's nice. So now you have a cradle-to-cradle television or a cradle-to-cradle chair, and that's it. And then you're responsible for it. But you don't want to be responsible for the product, won't you? You just want to have it. You want to use it. So that was the moment of turn two. Turn two was saying, okay, we have to facilitate a new relation between the producer and the consumer. And in the way to be sure that the product is coming back to the producer. Because we have one problem in our society. We're organizing our society in a way that nobody is any more responsible for the consequences of his own acting. It's always for someone else, but not for me. By turn two, the producer is responsible for the consequences of his own decisions, because he has to take back the old product. So it's coming back to the producer, always. Okay, if we want to organize that, we need different steps. We need 3 steps. So let's start with step 1. Forget ownership, performance counts. And you know that. Because we have this kind of products, they even have it in the marketing, that you take care for the next generation. But if you want to go from Amsterdam to New York, you don't phone Airbus or Boeing and say, okay, I want to buy an airplane. No, you just say, just give me the ticket. Just give me the performance. No idea if there's kerosene in it or if the captain is drunken or not. I don't care. That's not my core business. That's your core business. So please give me the performance fly. And then you go. And then you go to New York and you're very happy. You go to the Apple store. You said, okay, I want to have the G6. I just saw it on the TEDx YouTube films. Yeah? I said, no, we don't have that. Then you said, okay, just give me an iPad. But you know what? There is no one in the world who ever bought an iPad. It's impossible. Yeah. And you know why? You just buy an organized conglomeration of raw material. That's it. Because the iPad is then an iPad if there's electricity. If there's no electricity, it's not an iPad. So we need electricity to get the performance iPad. And who is paying for Apple the electricity so that you have the performance iPad? It's you. You pay it for Apple. You pay for Apple that they can deliver you the performance iPad. I don't understand this. That we do this because it's up to Apple. It's not up to us. So we have to change. We have to change everything. We have to change the way how we consume. So you don't need a car. You just want mobility. You just go to the shop and, oh, I just got a new girlfriend, just give me the cabriolet, maybe 10,000 kilometers, then the relation is over. So I don't want to buy the car, for example. Why do you want to have a lamp? You want to have light. Why don't you want to have a washing machine? You want to have washes. Why do you want to have a television if you just want to look a film? But that means that the producer retains ownership of the raw materials. That's the trick. You know, I will show you that, how it works. Let us say this is a product, the regular product. It's done by producer P, and he's selling it to the consumer C. That's the regular way, right? And then he throws it away, or he's giving it in the plastic soup or whatever. But now, with turn two, it's different. Let us say Philips is selling a lamp on turn two based. Then the lamp is coming to turn two. We said, okay, wait. How much raw material is in your product? And what kind of material is it? How much copper, phosphor, steel, whatever? Okay, so let's distillate the value of the raw material. Let's distillate this out of the product. So then we have 2 values. We have the value of the raw material, and we have the extra value. So we separate this. And the consumer is not paying for the raw material. No. He's paying for the extra value. He's paying for the performance. Then the producer has the problem. So wait. I bought the raw material, so where's my money? So then turntoo is financing the raw material for the period that the product is not with the producer, but with the consumer. So after 5 years, he said, okay, now I want to have a new television. I'm over with that one. So then the television is coming back. It's coming back to the producer. The producer has the value of the raw material back, and turntoo is getting back the money. So we can perform, we can consume without paying for the raw material. To realize this, we need a raw material passport for every product, because we want to know what kind of raw material is in this television or in this lamp or in your iPad, to be sure where is the raw material. Yesterday it was in the planet Earth, but now it's somewhere in the products, and we have to know that. So we need, for every product, we need a passport. So here you see, so every product is the additive of the raw material and the extra value. And the extra value, mostly we need a lot of energy, but we realize energy, no problem at all. And we need human power. But you know what? You're sitting here quite relaxed. Tonight you go home, maybe you have a short meditation or a whiskey or a wine or whatever. Then you go to bed. And what you expect that you're tomorrow morning, that you wake up, that you're healthy and that you're full of energy. But how comes? Did you ever pay for that energy? This happens to 7 billion people every night. 7 billion people are loaded up every night. So, energy, human power, enough. But not raw material. This is ended resources. So that means in the future, every product becomes a raw material bank, of a raw material depot. So we have to realize that we're banking the raw material, we take it from planet Earth, and we bank it in the product. So what you see here is the first man in Amsterdam, on the right side, Mr. Katat, he got washes. Not a washing machine. Of course you have to deliver a washing machine. I'm sorry to give you that, but he's paying for the washes. He doesn't want to have a washing machine. And there's a problem. It's not up to him. It's up to the producer, because then he has to fix the machine. He has to pay for it, because he is delivering the performance washes. What you see here is the architecture office. I started with this 3 years ago, and I invited the family Philips to Amsterdam. Said, okay, just come to us. And you know what? I don't want your lamps. What I want is your light. Just give me light. And if you need lamps for that, okay, I'm fine. I'm fine. And if you need white wine or red wine or water or electricity, it's not up to me. That's your business. I just want to have 300 lux, 1,600 hours a year. He was a little bit confused, that sales manager, you can imagine. And he said, you know what, if I say this to my boss, it doesn't work. But I will do it. So, in my office, we just have light. I have no electricity bill. Because until now, what I heard is that Philips needs electricity to deliver me light. But that's up to them. It's not to me. So we have light hours, sit hours, walk hours, table hours, whatever, in our office. And what you see is the energy consumption is going down, because now it's up to Philips. Because they have to pay the electricity bill and not the consumer. You can do it with interior. This is the first real estate. So we make the first building in the world which is designed as a raw material bank. We know exactly what is in the building, how we have to disassemble the building, what is the value. We know everything. So this is the way of new consumption. It's not we have to consume less. Not at all. We have to consume in a different way. We need a different relation between the producer and the consumer, and turntoo is facilitating this new relation. So we started with Planet Earth. Let's end up with Planet Earth. William, he phoned to Houston. He said, Houston, we have a problem. So he was the first one. He said, I made illegal photos. I said, okay, take the color camera and make a new photo. What you see is the first legal photo from Planet Earth. And what you see, he's very vulnerable. And you know what? Nobody of us can change the world. It's impossible. What we can change is our perspective to the world. And the only thing we need for that is freedom. Thank you very much.